I'm great. How could you not be?
Do you need
How
it?
could you
Like,
not be after
you
a
look like you need a smoke, bro.
big win? I mean, come on. That was great. That was just a solid hockey game from the Canucks from start to finish. Like, that was a 60-minute effort, and yeah, just the whole team, all four lines rolled tonight. Special teams 100% on the power play, 100% on the penalty kill, a huge kill of a 5-on-3 late in the second there to keep the momentum in our corner. Really great game out of Brock Besser, who needed to break out of his slump. Höglander, good game. Suter, good game. Forbert making a big save there in the third period, clearing one off the goal line when Lankinen got a little out of position. But other than that, Lankinen really didn't have to work too hard tonight. Other than the Ehlers goal, that was probably the worst chance the Canucks gave up tonight. The Iafallo goal was just kind of weird bounces. DPD losing his stick in the corner. Well,
we know why he lost his stick.
Let's just be clear: having his stick taken away from him in the corner, just kind of leads to a broken play that ends up in the back of the net. But the Canucks didn't get down at that point. They were able to get the momentum back with a heads up play by Brock Besser, finding that one in between Hellebuck's pads and batting it home for his second of the game. And then real quick after that, we had Suter finding the back of the net too in the second period there to make it 5-2, which allowed them to play a smart third period. You know, they didn't fully park the bus, so to speak. They did play very sound defensively, but they took their chances when they presented themselves, which was great to see. And I think they were much more stable in their own end, which comes with wingers knowing where to be for their coverage in their own end and not playing their offside. They do, when you watch, they do mix around and end up kind of all over the place. But when they go to their breakout, that's when they switch back to the sides they're supposed to be on. And everything just kind of went more smoothly today. And the lineup seemed to be more balanced. And the guys who... the only thing I'd like to see, obviously, is Lekkerimäki getting some top six time. And if he's not going to get top six time, send him back to the AHL. And let him play 20 minutes a game down there. I really, really liked Linus Karlsson's game tonight. He's been working really hard under Manny Malholtra's system in Abbotsford to kind of unlock his skill set as that gritty, like high-end third-line player. He kind of reminds me of like a big-bodied Alex Burrows. Like, he plays in your face. Most of his goals are going to be dirty goals from the dirty area in front of the net. He works hard on the forecheck for his line mates, and really hard on board battles. And I saw a lot of that tonight. And I hope that he gets another shot playing some fourth line time. If Garland can come back in the next game, I'd honestly like to see Lekkerimäki come out.
Send him back
and go back down to the AHL and have Karlsson stay up and play in that fourth line role where his skill set is more suited rather than Lekkerimäki's.
I mean, that's the thing. When a guy comes up from on an emergency basis, gets dropped in last minute, goes into the game and plays as well as he did tonight, that's like, oh, well, let's keep him and then send Lekkerimäki back down, because it looks like Karlsson's probably going to be a player that you can play in a top six or a bottom six, whereas we'd prefer to see a Lekkerimäki in the top six. And if you don't have a spot for him right now, then it makes more sense for Karlsson, who was, like you said, digging the puck out, big body, like getting good position, and even almost scoring that goal, right? And even the whistle went, the puck Hellbuck still didn't have that puck, right? So if maybe another split second before the whistle goes, Karlsson had a chance to put one right through Hellbuck's glove there.
Yep. Yeah, no, lots of extra chances tonight. Hellebuck is obviously Hellebuck. Made some big saves, but the Canucks did a really good job of pushing the offense when they needed to. And I really liked the balance of the lineup tonight, much better than the balance against Utah.
Yeah. People's First Yukon is asking, are we in the playoffs now? Yes or no? And using our new technology, I can bring it up right here. You can see the Vancouver Canucks sitting with 75 points, taking the lead over St. Louis because they've played one less game than St. Louis had. So obviously that is a huge game coming up. The next game on Thursday against those St. Louis Blues.
6 of 7 Canadian teams currently holding playoff spots as of right now.
What's the most amount of teams that Canadian teams have made the playoffs?
I don't know, probably around 6 in the 90s, I would say. Back when we had 8 teams, I guess, before Quebec left.
Yeah.
It had to have been at least 6 teams make it.
Looking at the overall box score, you got a bunch of Canucks that have multi-point nights. You got Brock Besser with 3 points. You got 2 goals and an assist. Yeah, what am I doing? I can pull this up for the people. You got Niels Hoglander, 2 points, got a goal and assist. Suter's got 2 goals. And then just a shrapnel, right? O'Connor with a point, Lekermacki, EP40 with an assist, Sherwood with an assist, Bluger with an assist, DeBrusk with an assist, and then on defense, Marcus Pettersson with an assist and Quinn Hughes with 2 assists. Lots of good work all around for the Canucks, top to bottom, scoring in bunches from a bunch of different people.
Yeah. If I'm giving out 3 stars tonight, Brock Besser's my first star. Then probably Pius Suter's my second star, and Niels Hoglander's probably my third star.
You got 2 of 3. They got Brock Besser listed as the first star. They got Hoglander as the second star, and then the third star they gave to Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes would have been my swap in for Suter.
Quinn Hughes being
or Suter.
The default 3 stars of the night. When all else fails, give it to Quinn.
He does so much. Like, he just does so much. He plays so many minutes, and another multi-point night. Closing in on Alex Edler as being the highest scoring defenseman in franchise history already in his very young career. So, just never surprising when Quinn Hughes finds the star sheet.
The numbers were very, very even across the board, right? Like 22 shots for the Canucks, 21 shots for Winnipeg. Faceoffs were not as close. But then penalty minutes, there was only 3 penalties called in the entire game. Very much kind of a playoff atmosphere that you get. Were you surprised that there wasn't more calls in this game, or was it just some good, clean hockey being played out there tonight?
There's maybe 1 or 2 that could have been called, but it was really just they let the boys play. There was nothing dirty going on out there. Just some real hard playoff style hockey, and we saw a team go out there and play their best against the first in the league and show that they do have what it takes on any given night. Now we just need to hopefully see our coach kind of stick with this lineup for the most part. Please let these guys cook a bit here. That top line clearly has some juice. Hoglander does a really good job of getting in and digging the pucks out for Pettersson and Besser, and also has the offensive skill to complete the plays when they have those pretty passing plays like they did on his goal, where it was a bit of a give and go, and Hoglander found the empty area, drove straight to the net, Besser right on the tape, and it was just a really good tic-tac-toe play there with the 3 of them. So hopefully we see more of that Thursday in St. Louis.
Drew O'Connor I wanted to chat about too, because he was giving me Hoglander vibes tonight, because obviously he scored his first goal of the game, but it seemed like he was doing a better job tonight than he has in the last few games at getting into the corners, digging that puck out and coming out with it, showing that speed. Is that maybe just the result of him feeling better after having a flu, or have you seen maybe a change in his game for tonight?
I think it's probably feeling better and also slowly getting used to the new environment, new system. it's never easy going into a new locker room for players,
Mhm.
and into new systems. Uh, he looked like he went from a bit of a run and gun system in Pittsburgh to this very structured system here under Rick Tocchet, and that he needed to adjust to. And you're starting to see he realizes now that he's the guy that is going to be digging the pucks out. He shouldn't be the guy dumping it in. And the dump and chase was used at the right moments tonight. And I liked that we rushed the puck when we had the chances to tonight, and we scored 3 of our 6 goals, I think, off the rush tonight, which is very unusual for these boys.
So I'm gonna pull up the schedule here for everyone on screen here. So you got St. Louis, like we said, on Thursday the 20th, 4:30 start. An early game. We're gonna do a breakfast game against the Rangers. Obviously, it will be fun to see JT Miller and see what they do there. The New Jersey Devils, probably a winnable game as a result of them not having Jack Hughes. Islanders seem to be a team that gives us fits. They are really good defensively. So the St. Louis game, points wise, is going to be huge, obviously. But then the next, I'd say 4 after that are games where I don't think the pressure is as big. Obviously, you still want to pick up the points, but the big focus right now is keeping St. Louis off their butts. You're not worried about any of the New York teams coming up to get you. But obviously, through that road trip that's coming up, ends up in Winnipeg as well. And you got to think Winnipeg's probably going to be a little bit upset. So what are you expecting from the Canucks on this road trip? What would be a successful road trip when it's 6 games long here?
Oh man, I think you have to win the game against St. Louis on Thursday. That's priority number 1. You can't be worried about anything else on this road trip until after that game is done. If you can get 2 of the 4 in between there, if you can get you know two wins against either New York, New Jersey, the Islanders, or Columbus, if you can split those 2 of 4, and then you need that win against Winnipeg on the other side again, just for confidence sake going into the playoff push. It's okay to have a tough game against the Islanders or even the Rangers, who can steal one here or there with an aggressive offense. Yeah, it's tough because everyone's so close, and those guys are all chasing a playoff spot too in the Eastern Conference. So we have the 3rd toughest schedule going forward to the end of the year. I believe I saw a graphic before the game, and that's for winning percentage wise against teams we're playing against. 3rd toughest, and St. Louis I think has the 32nd, so they have the softest schedule going forward. I believe they play like 14 of 16 at home or something like that to end the year. So we're up against it. Really good stuff out of tonight's game. That is something we need to bring forward and keep going. Um, not a lot from this game to really critique and say, we did these things wrong. A lot of stuff from this game where these guys did things right, and we're starting to push the play in the right direction and find the right spots of open ice. And we'll have to see if this is the same hockey they bring against St. Louis, or if all of a sudden there's a different game plan and all of a sudden the lines are all shuffled around. But St. Louis is going to be a tough task. The hottest team out of the 4 nations. I mean, you got to think that the 4 nations win did worlds for Jordan Binnington's confidence going forward in this season.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing Pettersson playing against Jordan Binnington because obviously they had their verbal jabs back and forth in their double rookie seasons. Binnington thinking he should have gotten the call during all that, but it's always fun. Seems like Pettersson usually steps up his game against St. Louis as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some more shots from him going forward. The other thing I liked about the Canucks schedule coming up is that there's no back-to-backs. And that's one thing that I think has been killing them And they're getting into that playoff form already, right? It's one game, day off, one game, day off, one game, day off. And that's the nice thing is that it gets you into that rhythm, right? Where you have your rhythm, your schedule for your days off and all that. So because they don't have any more, they have one more back-to-back coming up in April against the Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights. So obviously that might be a little bit tough on the Saturday the 5th and April the 6th. But other than that, it's essentially for the rest of the season, one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off. And that's a really good thing, I think, for this team to kind of start getting into that playoff rhythm. Because once you're in that schedule, that's essentially what you're going to see every time.
Yeah, and you know what? That back-to-back's not that bad. It's 20-minute flight from Anaheim to LA, or from Anaheim to Vegas. So it's really not too bad. Plus, they play 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. the next night. So it's not flipped the other way.
Yeah.
So they're playing early than late. So everything in their favor with that final back-to-back of the season in April. So time-wise, schedule good. Opponent-wise, schedule bad.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing too, though, is that they're getting a lot of the road games out of the way because in March here, obviously, we're finishing off with a 6-game road trip. And then coming up in April, everything reverses. They're at home for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the remaining 9 games are at home in April, which is good for them.
We hope.
Yeah.
Not the greatest home record this year, but things have been better as of late. So hopefully we continue on this trend of finding our stride here and finding some chemistry. And it was nice to see Besser smiling again tonight. And hopefully that top line can keep that going and find some more offense against a stingy Blues team.
Looking at it, the Canucks have a 15, 13, and 7 record now at home and 17, 12, and 4 on the road. So things are getting better. So we're above 500 at least technically at home now, which we weren't for a while there, which is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it used to be a palace. It used to be a place where people feared coming in, and this year it was just so strange how it was like took a long time to get above 500 at home.
Well, it's funny too how the schedule works out. Tomorrow night there's only 2 games. You got the Avs versus the Maple Leafs and the Kraken versus the Wild. So no real implications there. I mean, the Wild, with the way they've been tumbling, they might be, looking below them pretty quickly here. But then again on Thursday night we're back up to 14 games, and then Friday night there's 1 game. Saturday night there's 14 games. So classic NHL scheduling. But obviously, Thursday night you got Calgary playing the Devils. You've got a couple other games that have meaning as well. You got the Canucks versus the Blues, obviously a huge one. The Oilers are playing the Jets. The Kings are playing. So it's going to be another one of those nights where over the course of the night, you're probably going to see the standings change like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Yep. Probably. And you know what? When you look at the standings, one of the biggest thing that stands out of those teams that are leading their divisions, the top 3s, is that goal differential column.
Yeah.
Every single one of those teams is above a +10 goal differential at bare minimum.
Yeah. Do you see the Washington Capitals in a reverse from last year? What did they make it with? Like they were like a -34 or something like that, making the playoffs last year. Right now they're like that. They're a +72, and the Winnipeg Jets are a +77 right now.
Yeah,
I think
so. Canucks starting to tighten it up though.
The only team that is outside of the top 3 in the entire league that have a plus-minus of a positive in their goal column is St. Louis. They're a +3. Every single other team that's outside of the top 3 in the division are a minus right now.
Or Ottawa too is hanging on to a wild card spot. They're not in the top 3, but they are. They're a +5.
Yeah, and Montreal's a -16 right behind them. It's pretty wild.
Yep.
Was there anyone else from the Canucks roster tonight that kind of stuck out for you, or anyone that you wanted to mention?
I think DPD had another really good game where he didn't stand out for any bad reason. Unfortunate what happened on that second goal, but not really his fault. He did what he could with no stick to try and get in there and save the goal, but short of closing his hand on the puck in the crease and giving up a penalty shot, there's not much else he could have done in that situation. So, other than that, would have liked to see more from Jake DeBrusk. He started to pick it up a little in the third period, but the first two periods kind of invisible. He's the next guy I'd really like to see get going here down the stretch, and if they can get him going as some secondary scoring to support that top line now, then we'll be in business.
The thing I have enjoyed about DeBrusk's game the last few, I feel like he is moving a little better. It feels like his legs are moving better. I saw him dig a couple pucks out here and there, so it definitely seems like and that's the thing that they said about him. There was two things that we heard about Jake DeBrusk. He's a streaky scorer and he can move and hit. And we've seen pretty much both of those. We haven't seen as much of the moving and hitting, but I think the last few games you're starting to see him pick up his feet a little bit better, which is good to see.
Well, tonight playing with Sherwood kind of forced him to move and hit a little. It gets your energy up playing with a guy like that on your line. So it was actually good to see, and we'll see if maybe that stays together and give those two a chance to maybe form some chemistry as a winger pair. And then when Garland comes back, he can just go back to his buddy Joshua.
Dustin Boydell with the generosity donating 10 gifted memberships. That's awesome, brother. We appreciate it. Lots of people in chat at the time, so all of them went out, which is good to see too.
Perfect. Well, I mean, we're getting lots of support all season long. I know it's been a tough season, lots of ups, lots of downs. So it's just a way of saying thank you to chat for hanging out with us during all these games, sending their questions and making us laugh with some of their chats. Man, it gets wild when we're not paying attention, but it's very entertaining. Let me tell you that. And I'm happy to support you and this thing we're doing. And I'm just having fun. So I appreciate you allowing me to do this with you and go on this journey. And let's continue on this playoff push and hopefully make that wild card spot.
So it's an earlier game on Thursday. Still going to be good to go for the first intermission?
Thursday, yes, I will be good to go for Thursday's game. Saturday, I might have to do second intermission.
Cool.
Be taking my boy for his swim lessons right at game start. So
cool.
I won't be around for first intermission on that one, but second intermission post game, I will be around for the Rangers.
Cool. I'll because we got Diener HD coming on for the Saturday game, so I'll just send him a quick message, see if he can switch from the second to the first period, and as long as that's good to go, either way, we'll get you on for the post game show.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Cool, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And
yep, we'll see you on Thursday, everybody.
Nothing is perfect.